So I watched this movie last night called Iron Man 3. I came home, I recorded a review for it, and I found that there was a malfunction with my green screen. Well, geez, I was looking at it, I was like, that's a fail. Okay, here's the use of a green screen that's not a fail. Iron Man 3 sees Robert Downey Jr. return to the role as Tony Stark as he comes down from the events of the Avengers movie. This time around we are without Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and we are given Guy Pearce and Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. I liked the action in this movie. I liked the pacing. I don't know. What did you think about this, McBain? I thought it was great. It had lots of action. It was funny at times. I really love Robert Downey Jr. in this role. He's just so awesome. It was great, yeah. That is deep. That's beautiful, man. Shut up. Bored already? Alright, click right there for my condensed review. Alright, let's break this movie down, starting with the directing. Shane Black, Hawkins, takes over from Jon Favreau, who directed the first two movies. And Shane Black has been known mostly for being a writer, and he also helped to write this movie. He handles the CG and the action fairly well, especially during the third act. There's lots of good action. But when it came to the acting, okay, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., owns that role. He is Iron Man. I could not ever see anybody else replaying that role. But when it comes to the less important characters, those characters don't really get fleshed out all that well. Like, I felt that some of the story could have used maybe one more rewrite, because you could see that they were trying to develop some of the characters, like with the kid and some of his past relationships. It still felt a little too cardboard. And that brings us to the story, which, okay, this is where the movie I felt had a little bit of a problem. I don't want to get too involved in the political side of things here, but okay. You start watching some of the footage of the Mandarin, and you can see that they're trying to simulate somebody in real life. Now, was that the way the Mandarin behaved in the comic books? From what I've heard, no. Okay, but before you get on me about saying anything about that, I just want to say I liked what they did with the character in this movie. Like, I saw that they were trying to not go for a normal, generic bad guy. To which I can only say, well, you know, Ben Kingsley is such a talented actor. He could have brought another level to the Mandarin just through pure skill, and he does for the most part in the beginnings of this film. The cinematography, it was well executed, but the 3D never did really anything for me. And I still find it odd nowadays. You know, okay, you got a nice establishing shot of a forest at night. Why do you need to put a CG object in that shot? But that's just a minor quibble. Okay, I want to talk about some spoilers now. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, click right here and it'll fast forward to my conclusion. But I am going to talk about some spoilers. So, okay, here we go. They try to do some twists and turns with the characters and to be inventive. And, okay, the big thing is you've established that the Avengers brought in things like aliens and portals to other dimensions. And you see that Tony Stark is having problems with that. You see that he's having anxieties about that. If you're going to introduce a character like the Mandarin, who has supposed to have these abilities from these rings, why not use that? I mean, I felt like if they had rewritten that story just to include some of that, it would have added more of a conclusive arc to his story. Like, okay, you know, the things in the Avengers, it's happened. It's changed things. Forever. There's no going back. But you know what I mean? It just would have made more sense. Okay, the Mandarin has these abilities. They're from space. Okay, Tony has to deal with this now. This is the way of things. It's going to happen from now on. And we know it's going to happen from now on because obviously Avengers 2 is going to come out. And okay, let's sum up thoughts about the Avengers. These writers have to be cognizant now of things that they do. They can't have one of these heroes fight a threat that's going to be on a global scale. And they do that for this movie. They say, okay, what the Mandarin's doing is not a threat on a global level, which, okay, I thought that was good writing. However, after he's declared dead, you think maybe somebody from Cheadle would have checked in on him. And if they didn't care, what a bunch of buttheads. Overall, if you're just looking for a summer blockbuster, a popcorn movie that you can sit down, watch some special effects, these explosions, fireworks, I think you'll like this movie. If you like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, you will like this movie. If you're looking for something deep with some substance that says something about life, it's not in this movie, but I think it has some entertainment value. And for the comic book fans, I've heard mixed things. I want to hear your thoughts. If you liked this movie and you're a comic book fan, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And for you overall, what did you think? Did you think that this was a good way to start off the summer movie season? Because I thought it was. Okay, that's my review for Iron Man 3. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Obviously, Iron Man is my favorite one out of the franchise. And actually, I didn't mind Iron Man 2. I don't understand why people give it so much flack.